So, but some of the testimony that Starling Jenkins offered had to do with this thing we've heard about defecation in Johnny Depp's bed, on his side of the bed. We've heard an explanation from some people that it was the dogs, but apparently it was a very large pile of feces. And Starling Jenkins recalled for the jury a conversation he had with Amber Heard about this, in which she kind of referred to it as a practical joke.
And the morning of April 22nd, did you see any injuries on Miss Heard?
No marks, no injuries.
And so, driving out to Coachella, did anyone drive with you?
I was in the car alone except for the animals.
And how did Miss Heard get to Coachella?
She drove a Mustang.
Was anyone else in her car?
She was with, I believe, her sister and one other friend, her assistant, Savannah.
And do you know how many days Miss Heard and her friends were planning to stay at Coachella?
So the following Monday, I believe it's the 25th of April, we departed.
And do you recall where Miss Heard was staying at Coachella?
We were staying at the Parker boutique hotels there in Palm Springs, outside of Coachella.
Were you also staying at the Parker Hotel?
I also stayed there.
And so did you attend Coachella for work or for pleasure?
For work.
And what was your job that weekend?
Provide security and transportation, animal care, Amber's rolling assistant, take care of her, whatever she needed while she was there at the Parker or out traveling.
Do you recall what time approximately you arrived at the Parker Hotel on April 22nd?
Around 5:30-ish, maybe 5:45.
And what did Miss Heard and her friends do that evening, April 22nd?
That evening, we arrived, we were assigned the rooms, we went with the staff of the Parker Hotel around to the suites where we were staying. They let us in, we let all the luggage in, and we proceeded to plan for that evening to depart by 7:15-ish to get to the festival.
And how did Miss Heard and her friends get from the hotel to the festival that evening?
I drove them directly to there.
And did you have any discussions with Miss Heard on the way to Coachella that evening?
We had a conversation pertaining to the surprise she left in the boss's bed prior to leaving the apartment.
And when you refer to the surprise in the boss's bed, what are you referring to?
The defecation.
And what did Miss Heard say about the defecation in Mr. Depp's bed?
A horrible practical joke gone wrong.
Okay, so Starling Jenkins, who's worked for Johnny Depp since 1993 as a security team member, a chauffeur, talking about how Amber Heard talked about feces being left in Johnny Depp's bed, on his side of the bed. And Johnny Depp said when he saw the photo of this, he kind of laughed because it was so ridiculous. And then he was kind of like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with this. Josh Ritter, let's bring you back in to talk about this. People online call this Poopgate, I see in the chat on our YouTube channel. I've heard a lot of things over the years. Poop in the bed is not one of the things that I have heard about. So your thoughts on that, and how anybody could think that that would be a practical joke, and even if it was a practical joke gone wrong or gone bad, wow, I would think you would clean it up.
Right. To call it a practical joke gone wrong, how does poop in the bed ever turn into a practical joke gone right? I just don't know how you imagine that that's ever going to be something that, that your loved one finds cute and funny. It's incredibly disturbing. It just shows, again, this kind of chaotic mess of a relationship that they were dealing with in their home life, and it's you can understand why it was the end of the road for Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I can't in my wildest dreams imagine why anybody would think that that was funny, and even if you thought it went wrong, why you didn't clean it up, why you would leave it there.
Yeah.
Whether you're a Hollywood star who has housekeepers and maids or whatever, there are just certain things you don't leave sitting around, and that would be one of them. And I'll tell you what, I have my house cleaned sometimes. And I actually kind of tidy up before that is done, because I don't, I just don't want too much out there, like, too much of a mess. But anyway, let's move on. So